Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Today we're going to start with what is basic to Chinese cooking is rice. So we're going to learn how to wash, clean, and cook the rice. The kind of rice that we normally use is a long grain rice. This particular rice is my favorite, is jasmine rice. And what's nice about it is that it has a fragrant, almost flour-like odor as it's cooking. It doesn't taste that way, but it just smells nice. This is the measuring cup. It's not quite a cup, it's actually 2/3 of a cup that comes with the rice cooker. This is a rice cooker, or the interior of the rice cooker. It has measurements on the inside that match this little container cup. So it's 2, 3, 4, however many. This one takes up to 8 cups of this measurement. It's not a full cup. It's about 2/3. The exterior of the pot is the heating element. Now, it isn't necessary to get a rice cooker for everyone, but it does make life easier if you do make a lot of rice. We use it almost every day. It's not that expensive, and the best thing about it is you will never burn your rice. You can start it at any time so that it's ready when you're ready to serve, and it's hot. And it's cooked perfectly. This is my leftover rice, which we're going to learn later how to make fried rice. But to begin with, you have to start out by cleaning your rice. This is already pre-measured, 2 cups. All you need is cold water. And use your hand, which is the easiest, and just stir it through, and you can see the water starting to get cloudy. So what you want to do is to get a thorough stirring. The more you stir, the more sort of starch coating comes off. Now, just pour that off. If you don't have a rice cooker, measure your rice. 2/3 of a cup. I use 2 of those, and that's enough for 4. That's enough serving for 4 people. So if you don't have a rice cooker, I'll tell you how to figure out how much water to put in. Now, you're going to want to rinse that off. And you'll see the second cleaning doesn't have much starch left. But you want to do this until your water is clear. Probably a minimum of 3 washings and rinsings. So you still see some of that cloudy. Now in our family, it was my sister, my older sister Rose, and I were the ones who helped my mother cook. And the first job we did that we were allowed to do, you see there, it's still cloudy. The first job we were allowed to do was to clean the rice. You might want to rinse that out a few times. Now this should be clear. Now that looks clear. See, that's clear. So I'm going to pour that out. And I'm going to fill it up. Let's see where the line here is. So here's the 2. And it's, now, sometimes your rice cooker could have, I mean, it might seem too dry when you cook it. So you might want to, you could just add a little bit of more water. Now, if you don't have a rice cooker, you need a heavy, I guess it would either be a quart, it would probably be a quart size. You can wash your rice the same way, and the way you figure out how much, or the way we used to figure it out, you put your hand in, and the water should come up to about up to here, the amount of water. And that'll, I don't know how much that is, but you figure it comes up here to your knuckle. Is that a knuckle? Where it bends you, where your hand bends. Okay, so that's how, now if you want to, you can measure that, but it should be about maybe 1 inch above the rice. Okay? You can let this sit. You can let it sit. It's not going to hurt it. You can just let it sit. If you wanted to wash it early and let it sit, it'll just soak up some of the water, but you don't have to replace it. Now this goes into the cooker. The top goes on top, and it basically takes about 30 minutes to cook. It'll be perfect when it's finished. I'm not going to cook it, but you plug it in, push it down. This is the cooking indicator. When the rice is done, this will be on. It'll just keep it warm. So if you wanted to cook it now and then you wanted to serve later, it will just, this will just keep it warm. So it's a great time saver. It's a great, for people who aren't used to cooking rice, you'll end up burning it. But otherwise, you would put it on the stove, boil it. When it comes to a boil, turn the water down, turn the flame down so it's just barely steaming. Let it steam for 20 minutes and turn it off. But that's the thing. Nobody remembers the 20 minutes, and the amateur cook always burns their rice. So take your choice, get something that works easily, and you can get a small one. You don't have to get a big one. They have smaller ones, 4-cup size or something. And they aren't expensive, but they're certainly, if you like to cook rice, it's a huge time saver, and you will never burn your rice. So I'm going to turn this off because we're not going to use the rice right now. It'll cook for 20 minutes. It'll put it itself on steam, and the rice will be nice and fluffy. That 2 cups will give you a little bit more than this, but that's what That will be the basis for your Chinese dishes. Let's stop.